every king, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're firing me, firing me. Yeah, you're firing me, firing me. You've got me hypnotized. Push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. Whoa. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter, I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't turn away. I feel it in my bones. I'm losing it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am Oled and Fries, and this is my non-functioning tag team partner, the natural Astrid Pizarro, whose little impact heart has grown 5 sizes today.
I'm trying not to cry right now. Oh my god. Whew. I feel like NXT really needed this after the draft. They really needed something like this to like pump us, like us faithfuls that are here quite often. I'm shaking. I got goosebumps. I'm almost crying here. Holy moly.
Thank you for joining us. Let's just start right at the beginning. We'll let the Middle East get mad at us. We're going to go ahead and play from Twitter a 1-minute clip. Or no, we won't play the whole thing. We're going to have to play a little bit of this one. Oh, hold on. I gotta undo it.
Oh, thank you, CG, for coming and staying here with us.
Against. Listen.
Whew.
I couldn't fucking believe it when I heard the music. Holy shit! The reigning Knockouts Women's Champion is coming to Battleground. No, not from. Is still currently the reigning, defending Knockouts Champion. That's not a
clarify.
That is the current championship for the women in TNA.
Yeah.
Crossover was the name of the game tonight.
Wow.
Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Ava, Robert Stone, they out-fucking did themselves tonight, man.
I really have still no words. My champ, one of my yes, I'm a mess. So one of my favorites showed up on the show out of nowhere and nobody knew what was happening. I'm still like, look, my hands are shaking. Yeah, this was, and to clarify, her title's not on the line. It's only Roxanne's on Battleground. So it will be crazy, which I know it's gonna be hard to believe, but imagine Jordan Grace leaving Battleground as a Knockouts World Champion and NXT Women's Champion.
It could happen.
At this point,
it won't happen, but it could.
Yeah.
It could still happen. I mean, yeah, I was along the lines. I thought we were getting a ho-hum match against Tegan Knox. This is not ho nor hum. This is, oh my god, what the fucking hell are they thinking? And by the way, I also want to point out, NXT in one night has done more for TNA than the entire partnership where Kenny Omega stole their world championship for 8 months.
And to think, the name dropped TNA. They said Knockouts Champion. There was a TNA chant in this little bitty arena that sounded like shh. And she said it before. I'm glad that she opened with, "You saw me at the Rumble." Like, basically, I'm here again.
So it's reminding people who I am, where I come from, and where you've seen me.
And not only that, but we don't get her just for the pay-per-view. We get her next week, too. Her versus Stevie Turner, like, holy shit. I have no words. I'm still speechless.
Is here's the funny thing. Sean
Yeah.
said a good question. It's all leading to Julia
Yeah.
coming and dethroning Roxanne. It might not
Yeah.
be leading to that anymore. With Julia's injury and shuffling plans, there's a small, but real possibility that Julia will defeat Jordan Grace to become the NXT Women's Champion.
That's crazy. And but think about it this way too. Imagine Roxanne going against Jordan Grace and against Julia for her title defenses. Like, I'm sorry, that title race is already iconic, and it's like in the top there already as it is, just with her contenders alone. Oof.
Our good friend Jose on the air, who filled in for me last week. Thank you again, Jose.
Thank you, Jose.
To quote the great Alyssa Edwards, "What the fuck is going on here on this day?"
I cannot function. Like, I imagine me like I wouldn't say growing up, but like it feels like growing up watching TNA, going to TNA tapings, meeting Jordan a few days before the Rumble, seeing her at the Rumble, and seeing her in Battleground too. No, I'm done.
Bobby, I'm doing good. I'm functioning. Astrid's a little broken, but we're gonna get through it.
Just more than a little.
Because not only did we get Jordan Grace
Whew.
to grace us with her presence and find out that she's challenging Roxanne, at the end of the show, we finally found out who attacked Noam Dar. We finally
I told
found
you.
out who attacked Oro Mensa. And that person is, as Vic Joseph quoted, all ego Ethan Page.
Woo!
All ego Ethan Page is now NXT. Hell, he might be a TNA talent. I don't even fucking know right now because of
I
the
don't.
cross. Who knows
I
which company
don't.
for?
But not only that, just thinking about the fact that in the last couple of days, there's so many people leaving AEW, and like it sounds silly because when you think about it, but the world in wrestling it's out of this world right now. Think about the fact that we had Jake Hager didn't resign, and then now we have Arianna leaving, Mark Henry's leaving. Who else is gonna be leaving sometime soon? And just like I cannot believe this, and just like the fact that Ethan Page is if he gets to be in NXT as to do his outside stuff, like that would be amazing. Because imagine all the stuff he has outside projects that he has going on as well. I don't know, is he signed or is he just there for like maybe a couple months and see what happens? We don't know anything yet, so this is crazy.
Yeah. All ego Ethan Page. To quote Vic Joseph, wasn't he in A and then gets cut off? Yes, he was in AEW. Yes, he was being booked to challenge for the Ring of Honor television title. And now he's going for the NXT title after Noam Dar. Hell, he might be the match at Battleground now if they've written off Noam Dar.
I think so too.
What the fuck is going on? Ed was broke when the Bruins got eliminated. Astrid's turn. I was indeed broken when the Bruins got eliminated. Thankfully, my Celtics are holding up the Boston tradition of being winners and going ahead to the Eastern Conference Finals. And, as I tweeted about earlier today, I'm not sure how many people would have seen it, in Lowell, down the street where I watched NXT Battleground last year, tomorrow we'll be hosting the final game of the inaugural season for the PWHL, which is the Professional Women's Hockey League. In Boston, we'll have Game 5 there, where that Boston team might be able to defeat a Minnesota team to be the first ever Walter Cup champions in hockey. So, a whole lot of stuff going on here. We got Papa Smoke saying wrestlers making moves. Yeah, Triple H taking that blood money and making it work real hard for him this week already. Oh, let's not talk about Sexy Red. Becky leaving, Leslie coming back.
Yeah.
For anybody who's now, I'm gonna shock some people again. We all know my thoughts on Becky Lynch. I hope she enjoys her time off and goes to whichever company makes her happy. If she comes back and ruins my life in WWE, fine. If she goes to AEW where I don't have to watch her no more, fine. If she doesn't go anywhere and she stays at home and be's a mom, fine. As long as she goes where she's happy, I don't give a damn.
No, wishing everything the best to Becky Lynch for everything she's done. Oh, I, I'm still speechless. I feel like NXT really needed this tonight because we had what 2 maybe 3 weeks of like I can tell we're like okay with the show. Not I don't want to say we were not loving it, but we're not entirely like hating it because our show was an hour long for 3 weeks in a row. That's all you can tell. And tonight, holy moly, what a way to like. I don't want to say it's the middle of the show and the end of the show. Just that was incredible.
Yeah, we got STG. My boy Get the Tables would be saying that Shawn Michaels is cooking. And as Get the Tables does say, what a show. Yeah, what a fucking show. I'll be honest, about halfway through the show, I almost tapped out. I was almost like, I'm done with this shit. And then everything started with the Roxanne promo.
No, and I felt it because after Jordan came out, there were still tweets that something bigger was happening later on, and even with the like reveal day, and nobody still knew about the reveal. Nobody knew about Jordan. Nobody. So it's like to think about that. That's just amazing. I love still keeping the surprises in here.
Jose, Becky and TNA would be fun, especially when they're talking about how much. Dude, there is open waters. Mustafa Ali is talking about giving Cedric Alexander a shot at the X Division title. If they bring back Worlds Collide, and it's NXT versus TNA at Worlds Collide, there could be a whole bunch of fun to be had. But let's just say, already, again, I will repeat it because now we have a bunch more people in the room. Thank you, Get the Tables, for joining us, and I'm assuming joining us with a wonderful raid. Worlds Collide, TNA versus WWE, will do... Hell, they've already done more for TNA than AEW did in an 8-month partnership where Kenny Omega held their title hostage. Get the table saying PW Insider is already reporting that NXT and TNA collabs are going to be happening.
Slammiversary is coming.
They've been saying this since the Rumble, that Jordan Grace in the Rumble was not the only piece that was inked that time, and that more things would be happening as we go. Worlds Collide are just opening it to the entire WWE as an invasion. I don't love invasion angles. I like the idea of a one-off standalone show where we kind of get everybody just doing their thing so we can put over talent from both companies, because in an invasion angle, we inevitably end up with hurt feelings and sour things and never goes right. So, and this is somebody who lived through the 2001 WCW invasion.
Yeah.
I want my Speedball versus Dragunov match. That could be fun. I could get behind that. Expect NXT representation on team. That's great. Like, there are plenty of people in NXT not doing a whole hell of a lot that can go over to TNA and do something good. There is some top level talent in NXT that could go and revitalize some of that. I mean, they just main evented, I believe the main event of their last show was Moose against Matt Hardy. So TNA could use a bit of a boost in the men's division. They don't need a lot of help when it comes to the women's, the knockout division. They've got plenty there. They can do all they want there. They don't really need our help. But the NXT men's division could certainly give them a little bit of a boost over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said, Slammiversary is coming up. You never know.
To make Heatwave more special and hyped. This is a way to get the title on Julia and Roxanne take the pin and have keeps Grace going strong. Paige will win at Battleground and have Trick chasing. I mean, I want to remember, this is still WWE. Yes, it's Triple H WWE, but it's still WWE. Everybody just calm down and relax. The chances that a WWE title goes on to a TNA contracted talent is still slim, but it's a whole lot more likely now under Triple H and Shawn Michaels' leadership than it ever would have been in the past.
Wow.
Jose saying, someone was asking about World Collide's matchup. The Knockouts tag division is kind of barren. Jakara and Lash challenging Alicia and Masha would be fun. especially if they let Lash and Jakara take the lead in the promos. Yeah, there's a lot of room to be had if they decide to go Worlds Collide. Like, I throw out Worlds Collide, but it's not confirmed. It's all speculation. What if AJ Styles gets another run in TNA? One last run in TNA. He's been asking for it. WWE let him go back to do the video package for that. I forget what event it was, but they had a video package from him for something.
Was it? It was for the Hall of Fame, wasn't it? Or the anniversary or something like that too. So.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. We should start finally 20 minutes into the show talking about, what actually happened on the show bit by bit. So Ava comes out with the most random creator wrestler on 2K24.
Oh no, don't say that.
Red comes out. What? No. She is legitimately, you hit random on 2K24 and that's what popped out. Sexy Red's not for Ed. Let's just put it that way. Not for me.
Well,
I'm certainly not the target demographic for whatever she's selling. And I don't know what she's selling.
Just a heads up, so far, all Fightful has said is that Ethan has signed with WWE. They're going to have the details pretty soon. So, got it here.
Our local establishment. We definitely never have shows on LA that go 20 minutes before talking about the show. Yes, Ed prefers to have maybe one more X and one less Y in my sexy. That's probably more accurate. But she comes out and she either tells us or threatens us, depending on your interpretation of Sexy Red, that she's going to be the host for Battleground. So, she's coming back. That's a shame. And then her and Ava unveil the new NXT North American Women's Championship. And my God, Triple H hitting on all cylinders with these things. Look at this beautiful title. The white strap with the red background over the North American Championship plate. I think this is great. What do you think, Astrid?
I love it, really. It looks so pretty. And it stands out really with the white strap. I love that.
I was hoping to get a longer look at it, but of course, Sexy Red then all of a sudden picks it up for some godforsaken reason, like she's just won the championship. But of course, Tatum Paxley comes sliding inside the ring. She wants to hold the new title because this title may be her new thing. I'm trying. I'm trying. It's going to be a long night of talking about Sexy Red for me, to be honest. Yes, Booker T having the time of his life. I can't wait. I would love to have a video link to the conversation that him and Charmel have when he gets home, but we'll leave that at that. Von Pelt jumping in. White and red are always a good color combination. I agree. The one thing I dislike about that North American Championship is that red strap that it has, that weird colored thick strap. This white strap, more streamlined, just looks fantastic. I really, really adore it. Love the strap that it's tapered, unlike the men's title exactly. They did a great job with adjusting it for women. I do too. I think it's proportioned exactly for the talent that are going to be holding it. It's a smaller, thinner championship, but it doesn't look like a toy when you look at it, which is what AEW accidentally did with the women's championship in AEW. Remember that AEW women's championship? It was so itty because it was designed specifically for Riho.
Very itty bitty tiny.
But this slides right into Mia Yim defeating Tatum Paxley to qualify for the North American Championship ladder match. This is expected. I feel bad for Tatum Paxley. I wanted her to win. But we kind of knew that the HBIC was going to be winning this match to get herself involved in that ladder match. What'd you think of the match?
I mean, it wasn't anything like really that I could really say that it stood out. To me, it was that feeling that Mia was going to win this, and I'm very glad she's part of it. And even after revealing tonight who wins, 5 out of the 6 women are black. That's just amazing to think about. Like, I never thought that would happen. that's amazing, really. That representation alone in this match is just incredible. And so I think we have this, and we have Roxanne and Jordan too. It's like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Representation has taken on a new meaning in WWE lately. As of late, we've got Jade and Bianca as the women's tag team champions over on the main roster. All kinds of different things going on. We got Jose saying the V1 AEW women's title made the Knockouts V1 title look like the new South Championship belt size. Yeah. But you know what? The AEW's women's title has come a long way since then. It's a nice looking title. I very much like that one. We then get the Meta 3 confronting Gallus. As I call them Meta 3 because there's no Noam Dar. And Gallus says, look, if we had beaten down Noam Dar, you'd have known about it. We would have told you. I'm like, but didn't you say last week that you did it? I was pretty certain.
No, I told you it was. I told you they didn't take credit for that one. They took credit for Ivar and Wes in the background there too, and then Josh was the other one. But he didn't take credit for Noam Dar though. I said it from the beginning. I mentioned it to you. Like, no, they mentioned it's like, no, they didn't say Noam Dar. See, I paid attention.
We then get what the hell came? I have notes Tilly, but I don't think that's right.
No, it's the Lola and Shayna recap first.
Okay.
And then Rich Holland and Riley Osbourne.
Oh, it's Riley supposed to be that word in my notes, but I have a T instead of it. I was like, who the hell is Tilly and why are they out there with Rich?
I was going to say, the only Tilly I know is in Chucky's, so that doesn't help.
Jennifer Tilly is fantastic in Chucky. But before we get to Ridge versus Riley, after that video package chronicling the underground match that will be happening at Battleground, we do have Arianna Grace trying to talk Lola Vice out of the match. I really wish she would have succeeded because I don't want to see Lola Vice in anything, let alone inside another underground. I'm happy that Shayna's there because hopefully Shayna will win.
Please.
Hopefully Shayna will win. God, I don't feel good about that anymore. But, you know, it's going to be there. It's either going to open the show or it's going to main event the show. Because I have a feeling putting ropes up and taking them down is going to take a bit of time. So it's got to be one or the other, you think.
I don't think they main event, to be honest.
I mean, I wouldn't main event with that match. I really wouldn't. But, I mean, it's a hard match to just kind of throw on a card. You kind of got to plan it out. Either way, Ridge defeats Riley Osbourne. There are literally nothing to talk about in this match. It started, it ended. It took way longer than I thought it would. And I really wished Riley would have won. But apparently we're storyline, so...
I think the only thing that really stood up wasn't even like the wrestling aspect of the match. It was the part that we had Thea being that voice of reason there for Rich, and he was like trying to get into that like mental headspace, and she told him not to do it, and he like shook it off and decided, I guess, not to do it. So that's the only thing that really stood out to me in this match, is that the part that he actually listened to her while he was outside of the ring. He still wins, and even while winning, he still tried to shake Riley's hand and just say like everything was okay. I think they shook hands and then Riley left afterwards. But
Riley didn't just at all.
Okay, so that's what happened. And then, but I think that really the part that stood out was really Thea in this match, and she wasn't even part of the match.
Well, you know, Raw made a women's world championship match all about the men on the outside, so it was nice to see a woman made the important thing in a men's match tonight. See? Balance. We made the men the important thing on Raw. We make the women the important thing here. It's all good. It's balanced. Jose does come with an answer, though, to our where to place this match on the card at Battleground. With it being at the UFC Apex, you can see them having a second ring set up somewhere else for the underground match. That's not necessarily a bad idea. I think there's some good thoughts with that one. We then move on to a Good Brothers promo where they're talking about wanting a tag team title match. Great. Another match I really don't want. Man, at this point in the night, Battleground was really starting to look like a night of matches I really didn't want to see. Trick versus Noam Dar. Roxanne versus, in my mind, it was Tegan Nox at the beginning of this. It was going to be this tag team title match, the underground match. Man, I was an unhappy camper going into Battleground at the beginning of this show. We then have a backstage segment with Oro I put supposedly being attacked because, again, they suck so much at acting that I didn't even think he'd been attacked.
Yeah.
We then have Inoue and Blade jobbing to the Good Brothers. There's no other way to put this, and they just jobbed out.
No, and the other thing I hear was another thing that stood out was a woman being in that match that wasn't in the match. Because as they say, Brittany was there. I didn't see how she got taken down. That part you gotta fill in the gap for me. But after she gets taken out, they take her out and they lose the match. And it's like,
you really
how
think
amazing!
Pay attention to this.
I
went and cleaned up dinner during this match, so I didn't even know she got taken out. My notes literally say Inoue and Blade job, and I wrote that before the match started.
Oh my god! No, I just thought they were doing well to put it like that, and then she got taken out. Don't know how it happened because I missed that part. She was already on the ground when I watched it, and then they take her out, and that's when they lose control and lose the match. So again, the woman being the center of attention here, giving us what we should be giving. Okay.
We then have Naxium come out to the ring, and Naxium offers the title match at Battleground, and that match will be later on made official. So Naxium versus the Good Brothers at Battleground. Well, at least Naxium will retain the titles. By the way, we have a confirmed guest for the post show and a mostly confirmed guest for the prediction show for Battleground. So look forward to those announcements later on this week. We're throwing around the Ole money this week.
Yeah.
We then had a really good video package for Dante Chen. I really like this. Fun video package. It worked. We had all kinds of good stuff going on, talking about last week, how the crowd was into it. Dante Chen talking about how much that meant to him, that the crowd had been watching him from Level Up and continued to be with him as he went ahead and had this big match. It was really good. We then cut backstage where Dante Chen's talking to the NXT tag team locker room, it looked like. I know I saw Hank Tank back there. There were a couple other people. Yep. And then in comes Lexis King, the ruiner of nights. All badass and saying it was a fluke and he wants another match. And Dante's like, well, that's fine. We can do it again. How about we do it tonight? And I'm like, do we have to?
Oh, there we go. Breaking news. WWE sources have claimed that Ethan has signed with WWE. He was not seen backstage throughout the day and was not present for rehearsal, so that obviously they didn't want to spoil it. While we're not sure if Page got released or his AW contract got expired, we're told some in the industry that he was looking to be a free agent by the late spring. When the word of his departure happened, we heard that he was hoping it would go under the radar until he appeared somewhere else. His deal was finalized over last week, and Secretive Performance Center visit last week. And see, they don't know what the future holds for his promotion. And then they were immediately pleased with his debut, and the main roster sources reached out to communicate their excitement about him joining. So I don't say he's not all elite. What do we have for David that is not elite? We need something for that.
He's going to get the
graphic too.
Point soon.
Yeah, the pointy picture. So there we go. So far, so good. They just keep his name. That's all. That we're all good with after that.
I mean, they said all ego tonight. They said Ethan Page tonight. I'm going to assume none of that's going to change.
No.
Speaking of things that I want to have changed, we had a backstage segment with Javon and Trick Williams and Sexy Red, and this was my low point of the evening. I wanted to give up. I almost wrote down the words, Astrid, I'm not doing the show today. Because I don't like her, and she was all over the fucking screen tonight. And I need to
get used to it.
I need to be rid of her as quickly as possible. Battleground can't come and go fast enough.
Okay.
But as we said earlier, we played the footage. Roxanne comes out bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining about having to be told who her opponent is for Battleground, that, she doesn't get the respect that she deserves, that greatness is in the ring in front of them. And I said, oh, is Mandy Rose coming back? because greatness was in the ring, and I wasn't seeing greatness. I was seeing Roxanne Perez. Joke. I actually think Roxanne Perez is very, very good. I do, however, have a bone to pick with part of her promo.
No.
Yes. At one point in her promo, she says that I was always focused on becoming the NXT Women's Champion. 9 years it took me to get here. Well, if that's the case, why did you waste your time in Ring of Honor? Like, shouldn't you have just gone to WWE right away? Why did we go to Ring of Honor? Mind you, she needed that time in Ring of Honor to become the star that she is today. And by the way, again, I tease about Roxanne Perez. She is great. She's fantastic. I adore Roxanne. I much prefer as a babyface to a heel. So as a heel, I just want to turn the TV off like I do when Chris Jericho comes on.
Yeah, Chris Jericho's a total different story. Don't even put him in this conversation, please.
No, she's getting dangerously close really quick.
No, never say that. Never.
Dangerously close real fast.
No.
She's getting dangerously close to turn off the TV when she pops on my screen.
No, next.
However, we were saved when Ava came out and introduced Roxanne's opponent, and I couldn't fucking believe it when Big Mama Pump, Jordan Grace, the Knockouts champion, came out, and we're getting Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground. This is what I main event that show with, to be honest. If I'm WWE, I think I main event with Jordan versus Roxanne. I think Trick goes in the semi-main.
No, we get this too next week. Not just pay-per-view. We get this too. This is crazy.
We haven't got there yet. We'll get to that.
We're still there. Who cares?
We'll get to that. We got Jose popping in and saying, not to me, the only thing I can do without for Roxanne is the second coming of age.
But that's mother, though. That's her mother. It's okay.
However, we do have a match of the year. We absolutely do. This match is going to be an instant classic. I'm very excited for the WWE audience who doesn't watch TNA, who's never seen Jordan Grace, who's only seen her in the Rumble, to see what a full...
I like teasing you about it, though. No.
I have been begging for Jordan Grace to come to WWE for years. I've wanted her to leave TNA for years.
No, if I was TNA, I'll be scared because 3 appearances by the time this is done so far in 1 year for Jordan, somebody's getting snatched up when that contract expires. I'm just saying.
Maybe. Jordan seems oddly happy to be the big fish in the small pond. And no diss to Impact there, but between WWE and TNA is a small pond. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Mm-hmm.
But she is the biggest of fish in that small pond. And as good as she is, and as quality as she can be in WWE, she will never be as big a fish in WWE as she is in TNA. And I think she can be Charlotte levels of successful in WWE. I mean, she's not going to be Charlotte levels of successful because she doesn't have enough time. And Charlotte's already been here for 8 years, 10 years. But there's no cap on how good Jordan Grace can be here. But the pool is the pool of talent is so large in NXT that I just don't think that she'll ever be the biggest of fish. But she'd be a damn good fish. And I can't wait for this match. We then get Mel's favorite portion of the evening, Eddie Thorpe outside shirtless by a fire. Go ahead and talking about his brouhaha. Eddie Thorpe is coming back, and I'm excited. Eddie Thorpe's coming.
Yes, finally.
We had Roxanne, we had Jordan, now we have Eddie Thorpe coming back. I'm like, wait a minute. This might be a good episode of NXT here. We got some good people coming in. We had a Chase U segment backstage. And I don't even know what happened with the Chase U section because I stopped paying attention to the Chase U segment as soon as I saw the background. Sean Spears was in the background, and he was talking to TNT. He was talking to, was it Tyson and Tigwe, right?
I thought it was Tyree.
Tyree? He's talking to TNT.
I
The
know
big,
this.
beefy tag team that just started debuting. I like those guys. Those guys have promise, and I like the idea. We'll talk more about it when we get to the Sean Spears part. But this Sean Spears, molder of young minds, is really, really going to be interesting to me going forward.
Jose.
We do have Jose saying, not going to lie, I heard TNT and Bob Terror and Tessmacher with all this TNA talk. Oh, if I could have Tessmacher back on my TV screen. We also have Jose covering almost all of us saying the second that contract is up, TNA really could get outbid. There's no denying that Jordan is extremely sought after and that she loves TNA. However, that salary could move mountains. Unless she got offered more money than Moose, she is certainly going to consider other companies' offers. By the way, I agree that the money is going to be astronomical. My thing is that the money being astronomical for her has never been enough to get her out of TNA. When Jonathan Gresham went to Ring of Honor in AEW ROH, they never brought her over when that stuff happened. And then they slammed the door shut on that ever happening when they treated Jonathan Gresham like a piece of meat and put him on in the opener to defend his Ring of Honor World Championship at Death Before Dishonor. But I think selfishly, I want her to come to WWE. Selfishly, I think she's ready. I think she's been ready for 5 to 6 years. I think she's always been ready. I think WWE is finally ready for her. More importantly, they have people in place that will make sure that no matter where she lands on that roster, whether it be NXT, whether it be main roster, she's going to be taken care of and she's going to be treated like a star. And the reason I know she's going to be treated like a star is look how they're treating Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
They're not using her same music, but the whole presentation is essentially the same.
No, the music is, it feels kind of similar. And I wanted to go to what Jose is also saying, because I thought about that too. It's just a matter of like, this is something that we mentioned before with the contracts and stuff like that. A lot of people don't want to go to the baby because that means that whatever outside projects they got, it's a big no-no for them. You know, now at least we got the Twitch side of it. But like, for example, now with Ethan, what happens to his promotion, his vlogs, or his action figures that he has on, you know, on the shop and stuff like that. So it's like, what happens to stuff like that when they could get some kind of outside income aside from just wrestling? And with Jordan, for example, I don't know if it's OnlyFans, but you know, that platform, it could be one of the things for her too. Is like if they tell her you gotta close your OnlyFans, if you sign with us, she'll be like, okay, might as well stay in TNA because I got the TNA money and the OnlyFans money. And it's like I can't do that over there. And this is something that I know that it's being careful in the aspect of like, let's say you sign with NXT, for example, like Ethan. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be there on Tuesdays. You're gonna be there over the weekends, doing the Florida loop and stuff like that. But I know some of them, they want to do outside stuff, and that's something I feel like it kills WWE in that aspect, and people want to go to AEW for that reason, or some indie promotion or something like TNA, because they're able to do the show and do some outside stuff during the weekends and things like that when they're not actually on TV. So I feel like WWE has to do something in that aspect to be able to get these people that they're losing, to put it like that, because they don't have people, they don't give them the opportunity to keep their outside projects. So to me, that's something that really kind of kills Abby in that aspect, because a lot of them end up thinking, do I stay in WWE? And then you never know what's going to happen there. The only thing you can do is Twitch, if anything, because that's what they have the contract with now. But that's just something recent, because even before they didn't have the Twitch aspect of it. So imagine now with like Ethan Page, for example, thinking of like his action figures and all his stuff that he has going on that he likes to do on the side, his vlogs and things like that. You know, does that go away? And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and you know, he talks about Alpha One Wrestling. He talks about YouTube. He talks about reality wrestling. Here's the thing I think that's going to be good for somebody like Ethan Page. Asuka still has her vlogs up with no interference. There are other wrestlers doing YouTube on their own now with little interference from the company. They don't seem to mind. I know doesn't Johnny Gargano have his own little thing going up
Yeah,
now?
he started his now.
Stuff.
Yeah, for example, for me with Ethan, we'll be probably having those indie bookings because now, if they keep it for the weekends for the Florida loop, all those indie bookings that he has are going down the drain in that aspect. So how does that happen? A lot of people want to still do the indie bookings and go out there and have fun with other people from other companies, and you don't know how that becomes. So I was like, I understand because they also want to protect their people. You don't want to have to scramble later on to like put a band-aid on a match because somebody got injured on an outside indie booking or anything like that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, you need to have a balance too of like letting them have some kind of freedom to do some outside projects too. It's like you need a little bit of both.
And like I said, we're still in the early days of the Helmsley era. The Paul Levesque era is still in its early infancy. We don't know how many things that we say were no-nos for the old days that are going to change. We have to be willing to know that things are going to change going forward. And we don't know what those changes might be. Now, is it less likely that they're going to let Jordan Grace do OnlyFans? Probably. That's probably something that they're still going to be less likely to do, even underneath the Paul Levesque era, because they got rid of Mandy Rose under Triple H's, leadership. Vince was still ultimately in charge at the time, but it's a situation that Triple H has always kind of been the same on. When Stephanie and Triple H answer questions about China, they always talk about how they don't want the fact that she was an adult film star to be part of the reason why she doesn't get into the Hall of Fame. That's been a thing that they've talked about widely over the years about why it doesn't happen. So while Jordan Grace's OnlyFans still might be a sticking point, Ethan running Alpha One Wrestling probably won't be an issue. I don't think they'll have an issue with him running a promotion. Him showing up at said promotion might be something he has to work with them. And he may have clauses in his contract. If you get hurt doing your stuff on the outside, we might be able to recoup some of our money. But again, there's ways that Triple H, that Shawn Michaels, that these people can go at it and talk to him and work something out. But again, it's only time will tell. Jose says Johnny has a channel. Michin show streams and does YouTube. Dakota and Zelina do a show together. You'll be curious to find out if the way to get them on up, up, down, down. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things that they can do. And Ethan Page is going to be a great fit for the up, up, down, down crew. Like, I can't wait to see him with the Usos and with the New Day and all this. There's going to be a lot of good stuff to be had there. And of course, when any new talent comes to NXT, we get the obligatory photo. Here's HBK and his wandering eye and going ahead and holding court with Jordan Grace. Shawn Michaels in a picture with the Knockouts champion in an NXT. It still doesn't sound real.
No, to me, this is the forbidden door because it's something like you never expected. Like, first we get it with Mickey, and then Jordan just took an extra mile on top of it. That's just amazing to think about. But yeah, I'm still speechless.
WWE used to work really well with Japan, and then they stopped. A lot of their talent in the late 80s, early 90s used to go to Japan and get work in. And we've all heard the horror stories of racist man Hulk Hogan and all the hell he caused when he went over to Japan. Mm-hmm. But those are things that WWE used to do. And because of the issues they had with it, they stopped doing it. They stopped sending their talent to other promotions, and they insulated themselves to keep their talent as healthy as they can for themselves. And the best way to look at this is look at all the injuries that are piling up on AEW. Some of this, not all of it, not the reason for these injuries, but some of the reason why some of these people are getting hurt is they're spreading themselves too thin. They're working too many dates for outside companies where AEW doesn't have control, and things happen. And that's a problem because then AEW can't make money off of the injuries. And while you don't want to make money off of injuries, they can make money and do promotional stuff with Adam Copeland being hurt because it happened working for them. But because it didn't happen at random indie show where they might not have footage, or they might not get the ability to use it, or they don't have control of what happened on the show. Speaking of things we don't want to talk about that happened on the show, Lola Vice pins Arianna Grace.
Definitely don't like seeing that either.
We had a delightful video package with Carly Bright.
Yeah, I was going to mention too. When we had the Chase You thing that you said you were not paying attention to. Riley, yeah, the main things like Riley said that Rich cannot be trusted, and they all went their different ways because they don't agree with each other. And then he comes up and he talks to Andre afterwards, by basically saying like we shouldn't trust him, and Thea doesn't agree with him.
Thea and her boyfriend having a lover's quarrel. We have Jose jumping in again, saying, between what's to come with TNA and Marigold, and it's going to be fun to see WWE mix it up with other companies. Interesting enough, they're all, so far, women's collaborations. I wonder where the men could trickle in. TNA, Noah, MLW. There's a lot of interesting things going on, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I would expect to see some male talent going to TNA at some point, because I think that's the exchange that TNA can benefit from the most. There's not a ton that WWE women are going to give to TNA. The Knockouts division is their most stacked division. But bringing over an AJ Styles, an LA Knight, there's a lot of good things that can happen. And there's a lot of talent in WWE that has a past in Impact.
Baby Joe Henry in NXT.
Don't you tease me. Because I believe in Joe Hendry.
It's like, say his name and he appears, and then, yeah, I will love that.
Jose also says with Lola Vice being on screen, the reminder that Latinos are more than our exes. I would
really?
In WWE's credit, they do a really good job making the Latinos more than their asses, with the exception of Lola Vice. Like, the LWO isn't about shaking their ass. Selena Vega isn't about shaking their ass. The Legado del Fantasma is not about shaking their ass. Like, I understand it's Lola Vice, and it's the thing we have to keep saying with it, but WWE's done a very good job of, well, yes, they've done some very stereotypical things with Latin talent, most of which isn't them shaking their ass.
Yeah, the part that made me laugh though in the match though, when she does the hip thrust and then Arianna has that face of like when it happened, it really just took me out of the whole thing. I couldn't stop laughing.
We really could just invite Jose backstage so he can join us on the show. Women's wise, Natalia's at the top of my list for TNA. Naomi and Michin coming back to TNA would be awesome on the men's side. Wesley battling the Rascals, Joe Hendry in NXT, Speedball in NXT, AJ or LA Knight back to TNA. There's mutually beneficial talent swaps to do. I agree. There's a ton of mutually beneficial. Yes, Speedball. Speedball's great. I like Speedball. Again, let's not forget about Mustafa Ali. Shawn Michaels and Triple H adore Mustafa Ali. I don't think that cut was their choice. Because remember, Shawn was booking Mustafa Ali to win the NXT North American.
I was about to say.
When he got released. So I don't think Shawn Michaels would have any issue working with Ali. Ali, while jokingly did say to Cedric that he'd give him an opportunity at the X Division Championship, he might be a little bit more hesitant to work with WWE. But again, under Triple H, under Shawn Michaels, he might be more receptive to something like that. But that's a place I wouldn't. I mean, Rey Mysterio versus Mustafa Ali, that could be a whole lot of fun. Yeah. A whole lot of fun to be had. That's
the possibilities.
We may have to do a show this weekend talking about the fantasy booking Worlds Collide TNA versus NXT. That may be. You know what? Next Monday night, 8 p.m., me and Astrid, we're going to do Talking Takeover. We're going to swap that out. We're going to be fantasy booking Worlds Collide WWE versus TNA. this Monday night, 8 p.m. at the start of Raw. We'll go ahead and do that so you guys can watch Raw and watch us at the same. If Dom wasn't injured, have him challenge Moose for a title in ER. I mean,
The funny thing is, when Moose is by himself, it's quiet. Because when I went to the tape and he was by himself, I forgot if he was going against Laredo Kid. It was so freaking quiet. Like, there was no reaction whatsoever for him. It's like, and I was thinking, this is supposed to be the world champion.
STG, Monday and Tuesday for Astrid and End. I can't handle the back-to-back. Like I said, we were planning on doing the show Monday night anyways. I think we'll just change the topic of the show. I think that will be a much better idea. Jose, I just tweeted about doing the fantasy booking thing too. Yeah, you know what, Jose, come on in. We'll have you join us.
Let's go.
Good show Monday night. I'm all in for it. Let's do it. Jose on the air, Astrid Pizarro, Ed Fries, Fantasy Booking Worlds Collide, WWE versus TNA. Bobby, we're blowing the budget again. Wait, that's not we don't blow budgets. Never mind.
I was gonna say we don't have budgets here. I would have blown mine. We would have blown us up in a while ago.
Back to Carly Bright. She has a fantastic video package here. I really enjoyed it. It talks to us about who she is. It mostly tells us that she's a cheerleader. But that was good. Like, it gave us a real life version of who she is, what they want her to be. She talks about being the shining star of NXT. And I'm like, that's great. And they have Natalya talking her up and saying, you know, you did a good job last week, which she did. I was really impressed with her the last time we saw her wrestle. And then Izzy Dame came in. Yes, I know which one's which because they were both in the scene. Well, there was one next to Natalya, so I knew which one was the right. Because the other one was standing next to Natalya. And the other was on the other side. Izzy has an issue with it. Carmen gets in her face. They start brawling. All kinds of good stuff. I guess we're getting Izzy Dame versus Carmen Petrovich probably next week. I'm excited.
So far hasn't been confirmed, but it could be.
Yeah. Jose said the deadline coverage runs it back. It does indeed. We have the Candy Crew in the gym, and Charlie Dempsey says that he needs to run the Candy Crew more like the D'Angelo family. And I'm like, oh God, this cannot.
Not that D'Angelo family, the other D'Angelo family. You missed it.
But apparently it's going to be Damon Kemp versus Tony D'Angelo. And apparently NXT made it for the Heritage Cup next week. Which I was surprised by.
Far.
So I thought it was going to be a match. Going back to backstage stuff, we have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in the medical room talking quietly about, you know, what's going on and how they're obviously next because the two guys have been taken out. And Lash like, fine, I'll talk to Trick after the main event. I'll talk to Trick. He won't lie to me after really clearly, after everything we've been through. I do like that they're throwing the non-kayfabe stuff in with the kayfabe stuff and stirring them on and just saying, done. Like, they know we know, and they're just like, okay, whatever, we're just going to go with it now.
So might as well.
So we'll find out more about that later. Dante Chen versus Lexis King Dante Chen was as good as he was last week. Lexis King was about as shitty as he was last week. And Dante Chen again, so yay.
Crucifix, and then Dante wins again. And still, even when he came out, good reaction from the crowd again.
Crowd loves him. I'm happy the crowd's getting behind Dante Chen. You know, they're starting to remind me of the Full Sail crowd. They're starting to pick their favorites. They're starting to do the thing where they're going to make sure that they push people towards the top who might not have been people that NXT wanted to be at the top. It's not necessarily a bad thing as long as they don't take it too far. They've picked Javon Evans. They've picked Dante Chen. They like Carmen Petrovic. There's a lot of people here they like. They seem to like Sexy Red. That's a bad NXT. Bad NXT. You shouldn't like her, but different strokes for different folks. But then Lexis King does the assault on the outside. And I have questions. Why on God's green earth do you pull up the mats to expose the concrete and then do the finishing move on the mat that you've pulled up? What the fuck are you thinking, Lexis? Oh, it looks so bad. And of course, poor Dante just sells it because he knows that's what he's supposed to do, so he does. But I'm like, what the fuck did we just watch?
And to be honest with Lexis, because he's another one that I kept thinking AEW did like okay with him. So when he came over, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to see him like really shine through because he's on his own. He has no excuse at this point. He's by himself. And at first it was okay. I like the background story of him changing his name, all that stuff, for example. And then now I just like, what is this? What's going on with him? I don't like what's happening here so far.
What are you thinking, Lexis, considering the subject of discussion? Very true. We get another great video package. And again, the wonderful thing that NXT can do, they have this fantastic WWE department. Josh Briggs in this empty room, and they have him watching footage. And they have him watching footage of, him and Evolve and in the early days of NXT and him failing. And he says, you know what? I came here expecting big things and being the top of the town, and it didn't go that way. But I found a little brother, and we had some success, and I gained a little sister along the way, and we had more success. And there might not be an I in team, but there's an I in win. And when I was with them, we were winning. And then I found the Josh Briggs that I needed to be, and I left them. We all decided to go our separate ways. And they show the footage of, her saying, I love you guys, and them both saying, I love you too. And she walks off, and then Briggs walks off, and Jensen's just left there by himself. And he goes, I gotta find that fire again. And I'm like, this is a great video package. This is very good. It's gonna make people give a shit about Josh Briggs. And he's had some good moments, but the constant losses are a bad thing for him. But pulling the losses into a video package that makes him take stock of himself to do better going forward, that's what you do when somebody's on a losing streak. You take it and put it in the storyline. When the video package ends, we have Sean Spears watching the video package, and he's asked a couple questions, and he mostly ignores them. But he says, I've found another lost soul. There are so many misguided youngsters in NXT right now, and there's one I have a particular focus on. It's going to be Jensen, isn't it?
I hope not.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Brooks Jensen. Because it's the end of that video package, and they go straight to him. I think it's going to be Brooks Jensen. Because we saw him tweeting about how he didn't get into SmackDown. He was tweeting outside of SmackDown. And then he went to NXT, and he kept drinking drinks after drink because he couldn't get into NXT. I didn't even know he still wanted to be in NXT, because the last time we saw him, he just hauled ass and left. So.
I was about to say, last time we saw him, he was trying to tantrum, so at this point, we don't know what he wants.
We have Ella J coming in. Yes, I cannot believe the things we've got going on here. It's fantastic. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
No! No! I don't want to see it.
Don't look it up. We already had enough of your rant with Sexy Red. Don't look it up until after the show, please.
Jose on the air. It's honestly more nuanced than I thought it would be. The way they split, he didn't need to turn heel at all. Now they need to decide if he's a good hand or capable of something. I agree. I think Josh Briggs is great. And I think that there's something there. There is something there, but it's interesting. It's interesting to see what NXT is going to do with it, and if they're going to promote him to a mid-card level, if they're going to promote him to top level like they think they can, or are they just going to leave him where he's at? It's legit goals. We need your life.
No, Ella, you haven't been watching. It's just the fact that Ed is already ranting about Sexy Red being too much in NXT, and she has to host Battleground on top of it. I don't need to hear anymore. Look at the way Jose says it. Oh, wait. Ed is doubling down on his Zoe Stark views.
I think Zoe Stark has got something going on here, man. This less ass thing, I think, is much, much, much maligned. I think I need to definitely look more into this. Oh. All right. Let's start a first starter.
I'm gonna end up crying now for a different reason than when I was crying at the beginning of the show. I cannot imagine this.
Hold on.
Oh no. No, don't be any hating and nothing, okay? You already hated enough on the show.
I can hate all I want.
No, you already had enough.
Ella, this is specifically your fault. I will double down on that. This is your fault.
Oh my god.
I know I'm sexy. I got the look. They try, the boy is wild. Yeah, they're really moving. I said chill. Up and down, that's fine. I'm just a sexy boy.
Oh god, it's loading.
Thank God.
It's still loading.
Oh, we did that. That was fun.
No more hating. Let's move on.
I've been told by my lawyers I'm not allowed to give any more than that, but I think I gave more than enough. This needs to play a point redemption on here. It's becoming cool, but I don't know what that word is because I'm too old. No. Leave Sherry Martell's greatness alone. Sherry Martell to that. And that has more to do with the aspect than anything else.
That's the last of your hatery. No more hating after this, okay?
I promise not.
I think Jose's just enjoying bugging you at this point. Ella, you have no idea what I have to deal with, okay? No idea. Since she was announced that she was going to be part of the show. Oh my gosh. And now that she's hosting Battleground, that's even worse.
I'll be honest with you guys. Hold on. Let me find version 1 of tonight's thumbnail. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. There are now 7 versions of the thumbnail for tonight's episode. This was the original thumbnail that was going to be going up on the YouTube channel.
Wait, let me take this off real quick.
Yeah,
hold on.
Get the banner off.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, this one. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that was the original thumbnail I made for tonight's show.
And then what happened?
We're not going through all the versions, are we?
No. I'm just saying that what happened.
Oh, and then Jordan Grace happened, so we changed it. And then
no, I told you, don't write who the hell.
Oh, well, because originally we said, what the fuck? Who the fuck is Sexy Red? But, you know. I mean, I knew we were going to go past an hour. I mean, we normally go just past an hour, you know, lately.
Yeah.
And this is the final thumbnail that we're going to be using for the show.
The behind the scenes.
It's still there on the thumbnail. So, yeah. All right.
SCG, I need to go to sleep. I wake up early tomorrow, so no, we cannot do 2 hours.
Astrid yells at me when we go over an hour and a half.
Damn.
I mean, it's not untrue, but no, Ethan Page did not give me enough time for another thumbnail, and honestly, I don't know where on the thumbnail I'd put him at this point. Like, no. I'd have to replace Gallus with him, and then. I
mean, I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, we gotta have Gallus on there for Mark. Mark Talks Wrestling. It's much better than those singing Shawn Michaels theme song. And I love Shawn Michaels. That was much better. Anyways, we then go to the D'Angelo family. Not this D'Angelo family, but the other D'Angelo family.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting there. I just didn't want to do it earlier when you
sure.
Talking about a way to get rid of the Candy Crew. They want to break down this no quarter catch clause that's going on. The Candy Clause, as I call it. So, I guess we're having the Heritage Cup match next week, and Tony D'Angelo seems certain that it's not going to be Damon Kemp, even though Damon Kemp's the one that they've said is going to be in it. And
I have a feeling Damon Kemp is not going to make it.
Tony D'Angelo, so I don't know what the fuck's going on now.
So yeah, I just don't think Damon Kemp's going to be available for this. I feel like something's gonna happen before the match happens.
I don't fucking.
So I keep thinking there's a third D'Angelo family where they just sing R&B on title. How does it feel? Oh goodness.
It probably is. Kelani versus Wren. I'd love to talk about this match, but the thing went all of like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It didn't go long.
No, it's another thing that was surprising for that one because being that the girls they both have experience, so it surprised me that it was very short. So I was thinking the same thing as Ella. Her new gear definitely threw me off too. I definitely like the back and forth that kept going. It's like it was all pins like most of the match, and it's like the moment that they kind of messed up on the bridge when Kelani couldn't go up, and I guess it because the Wren kind of blocked it in a way, so that didn't help either. But again, it's just Kelani did so great though because she did such a unique counters to this and unique like pins throughout this match. She definitely shined through in this. Even the little bit of time that we had, she shined through this match.
I love Kelani Jordan. I think she's great. I think she's got a ton of talent. We then get our first look at the Battleground card. It's Naxium versus the Good Brothers for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Obafemi versus Joe Coffey versus Wesley for the North American Championship. The ladder match for the Women's NXT North American Championship between Lash Legend, Kelani Jordan, Fallon Henley, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, and Mia Yim, where yes, only Fallon Henley is the only non-African American descended wrestler in the entire match. Good for them. Representation in all forms and fashions in that one. And then we're going to have Battleground Underground, where we have Lola Vice taking on Shayna Baszler. And the NXT Women's Championship match was made official to be Jordynne Grace. Still can't believe I'm saying that. Versus Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. Well, and then we have probably and then Ethan Page and Trick Williams most likely.
And then depending on whether or not Noam Dar is going to be in the match, either Ethan Page or Noam Dar versus. I was like, what the fuck just happened when I heard the music? I was not ready for that. I literally I've been saying for weeks that it was going to be Tegan Knox.
No, I had a feeling they wanted Tegan in NXT, but not necessarily that she was going to be against Roxanne. So, and then they kept teasing that there was a surprise coming. I kept thinking it has to be somebody that's not going to disappoint the fans, because if they bring out somebody, if a sudden gets crickets, it's not going to be great for the show in itself. Not only like us watching it, but in the venue as well. So that's what I kept thinking. Like it has to be something big enough that it will have that reaction from the crowd. And I just like loved it when this happened. That siren and hearing it again, it's I cannot get over this timeline for me this year.
I was already screaming playing Warzone, then I screamed some more with it. Maybe Tegan and Roxanne at Heatwave, but then again, that spot's supposed to be Julia's if she's healthy, theoretically, according to all reporting. Sounds like kind of mark up with the TV, but they really did. Like, NXT, next week's NXT is going to get half-decent ratings. Because Impact fans are going to know that they can watch, because Jordynne Grace is going to be on their TV screen. And Impact fans are going to watch anyways, because Ethan Page is going to explain himself, I would assume, next week as well. And those are both people that Impact fans are going to enjoy watching out. We get Stevie Turner backstage with Robert Stone and Assistant Stone and the Pebble, Ava Johnson, backstage going ahead and talking about how, what has Jordynne Grace done to get this opportunity? Why am I not getting these opportunities? Why am I being looked over? I've been on Level Up, to which I go, oh, so that's where you've been. I've really missed you, Stevie. I want you back on my TV. I'm glad you're here.
I said, she's alive.
To which Jordynne Grace comes in and goes, I was just listening over here and I overheard you. And you're right. I don't know what I've done to earn this spot. But you know what? We can both fix that problem together. You want an opportunity to show off. I want an opportunity to show the NXT universe what I'm all about. So I'll wrestle you next week. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like fun. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So Next week
Wow.
we get Stevie Turner versus Jordan Grace.
Oof.
I don't. We also get Tony versus Damon for the Heritage Cup, Nix
Yep.
versus Thea Hale, and an inside look at Shayna Baszler versus Lola Vice.
And
Next week's show's looking pretty good.
yeah, I'm gonna keep riding the momentum, and we're probably gonna get answers from Ethan as well.
Yep, honestly, tonight was the closest I think NXT's gotten to recapturing the fever of the black and gold era. This is where what the fuck booking makes sense. Yeah, it was a surprise, but it makes perfect sense that Jordan Grace would come back because she was here in January. And they told us, be ready for more Impact stuff. And we all went, sure, Triple H, sure. We'll see more of that. That's fine. You keep telling us we'll see it. We'll wait. Got it. We got it and then some.
Yeah.
Wesley had a promo package where Obafemi came in and just talked about stuff about the match between Oba, Wesley, and Joe Coffey. I don't really need that match sold that much more, so fine, whatever you said is great. I don't know. I was still trying to get everything set for putting Jordan Grace on the thumbnail and changing the title of the show from NXT Gets Sexy with 2 Ys to NXT versus TNA, and hassle that is to change it on 3 different platforms all at once is a pain in the ass. Ethan just tweeted, I guess I whooped that trick. Yes, he indeed did whoop that trick. Part of me is wondering if they chose Jordan for NXT because it's a guaranteed reaction compared to the main roster TV, or if they don't view TNA as the same level as the main roster just yet.
I think it also helps that they're in Orlando, and then Impact has been here for quite a while, so a lot of people are gonna end up knowing who Jordan is. It's like same thing that happened with AJ. They debuted him in the Rumble because they knew the Rumble was in Orlando, and a lot of the people from the TNA faithfuls were in Orlando, so it just makes sense that it will happen here. And it's like a lot of people are gonna know her, and it's a smaller venue, so you can get that reaction a lot better than just like you would in a normal venue.
Also, I think it makes a little bit more sense to start TNA with the NXT talent. You can always elevate them to the main roster if things go right. It's a lot harder to explain to people why we should give a damn if they just get blown out by talent on the main roster.
Yeah.
Astrid, are you going to try to get tickets to next week's show now that you know that Jordan Grace and Ethan Page are going to be there?
It's gonna be hard. It will be real hard to get those.
Go to the show.
Yeah, that means I don't get to do the show with you.
You can do it from the car. I've told you.
I don't know.
I went to Battleground and still did 5 minutes with you and Ella while I was driving home.
Oh my god, 5 minutes. Woohoo. No, I'm saving my time out for my trip. I can't say it. I can't say much about it, but yes. Maybe I'll apply. We'll see how it goes. Jose, you say this like there's a Monday show, a PLE pre-show, and a PLE post-show next weekend. Hey,
All right.
let's see.
Ella J also says, do it, Astrid.
Do it.
Do it. Do it now. We then get Trick Williams and Javon Evans coming out with Sexy Red to take on Gallus. This was not the Gallus team that I expected them to be taking on, considering the fact that Wolfgang wasn't part of the tag team.
Mm-mm.
In the thumbnail, I put Wolfgang in the thumbnail because Wolfgang always does the tag team stuff with Mark Coffey.
Yeah.
But it was Joe and Mark, so that was something. The match was fine. Astrid's real trip is coming. I know what the real trip is, but I've been sworn to secrecy.
Yeah, they know too. They've been sworn to secrecy too.
Know. I know they know. They probably knew before I knew.
No.
But you've told me not to tell anybody, so I won't. But Trick and Javon get the win. So that was nice. Apparently, I'll be honest, I didn't notice, but apparently Sexy Red played some part in the finish. I don't know what she did. I don't know why she did what she did. I really don't want to watch what she did.
I know she was part of it, but I honestly can't think of it right now. Yeah, jeez.
Anyways, Trick and Javon win. Javon got bouncy. He also got bounced off the stairs pretty well by Joe Coffey, where they go, that's not the kind of bouncy that Javon likes to be. Vic was doing really well in this match. I really enjoyed Vic in this match. And then Lash comes out to talk to Trick. The lights go out. I thought something went wrong with my Hulu feed because I couldn't see the feed anymore. And then the lights come back on. And Ethan Page attacked Trick Williams. And I'm like, the fuck just happened?
No idea.
Wow. Well,
Wrestling in 2024, just
it's on another level, man.
yeah. I never would have had that in my bingo card.
There's a lot of things I didn't have on my bingo card in 2024 that have happened. When Beyonce said bounce on that shit, no hands, Javon felt that. Ethan really whooped that Trick. He did. I'm very excited for that match. I really want that to be the semi-main event for Battleground now. Again, I still repeat that I definitely think that we need to go ahead and main event with Roxanne versus Jordan Grace. Oh, Chris Bay just had an interesting tweet. I like that idea.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Him and Budget Matt Taven want to come to NXT. As I call them, Great Value Matt Taven.
Yeah, I was gonna say ABC's more than welcome to come here. Come on, my champs.
I'm more than happy. I've met Ace Austin. I think he's great. I've watched him wrestle. He's fantastic. I made Astrid jealous when I showed her the video of Ace Austin.
No, I met both of them already.
Yes, but you didn't touch his hand on his entrance.
No, I want to touch his abs. That's a different story, though.
I wasn't going to touch his abs. I mean, I was close enough. That feels like it's a little bit of a violation. His hand's one thing. His abs are another story.
Yeah.
Speaking of want to touch people, Ashley, why don't you go ahead and tell the people where they can reach out to you on the internet?
Oh, yeah. No, I keep forgetting what day it is. This whole show got me.
Tuesday, we're finishing NXT taking over.
Are you sure? It doesn't feel like it.
Trying to.
We had TNA today. Are you sure it's not Thursday somehow? It almost feels like it. Barry Monkey would have been happy to see in this tonight, if anything. But
Oh, I miss Barry Monkey. I hope he comes back sometime.
yeah. Well, for me, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't think I have anything this week, if I'm not mistaken. But hopefully some.
Ladies Wrestling Showcase at some point this week.
Yeah, it depends on Mrs. Mel that has shows going on, not me. I'm home. But no, other than that, you can find me on my Twitter, Blue Skies, Astrid Pizarro, Instagram and Threads, Astrid Pizarro 20. Yeah, a couple of interviews are on the work, so we'll see how that goes coming up soon. We do have. Do you want to say at least one of them for what? We can say the one that's confirmed for Battleground.
We can
Show.
actually talk about the confirmed.
Okay, that one we can mention. We do have guests. We do have, like we always do, a preview and a post show. Preview is going to be probably Monday, the Friday before the show, because that's the time that the person can do it with us.
Oh, recording
Thursday, yes. Yeah, recording Thursday. Hopefully we'll air it on Friday. So let's see how that goes. I don't want to say that one because we're not 100% sure, but we do have DC Hendricks of the Monday Night Besties from Body Slam joining us for the post show. So we're going to have, but the Monday Night Besties duo has been with us after that happened. So that's pretty exciting. So we got at least one of them. It's confirmed. The other one's on the work, so we'll see. And I'm working on some other ones for the future as well.
I will tease that the other guest who's mostly confirmed is going to be another finishing of a set of people who cover wrestling shows that we've had on before.
Yes.
So if you know who our previous guests are, you might know who we're having on.
Oh yeah.
I want to thank Jose on the air for subscribing to our local establishment with Prime. We greatly appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the ad-free experiences. I haven't been paying attention to those tonight. Normally I try to do the show so we actually kind of try to avoid the ads.
I mean, look at that AEW post show with Kimmy. That was amazing. Over 200 views on it so far. And I should be charging for 2 nights because we ended up doing it past midnight, but that's a different story. But
we didn't
that's amazing.
start before midnight. It doesn't count as 2 nights.
It should count as 2 nights. But anyway, We do have the AW post show. If you haven't seen that on the OLE YouTube channel, and we also had the Strangers review that I did with Bobby yesterday on the OLE channel as well. If you haven't seen that yet, yeah, we have a lot going on. And then with that Battleground weekend, we do have a lot more going on. And then who knows with Clash of the Castle what is going to happen. So we're definitely going to hopefully be cooking more guests coming up soon.
Yeah. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the twitch.tv/edfries2002. Again, like I said, I will be here tomorrow night with my tag team partner, Andre C., as we go ahead and talk all things Thor 2. Yes, we're talking Thor the Dark World on our MCU recap tomorrow with Andre C., who was just in the chat right there, talking about Ethan Page. I'm very excited for that. So we'll be able to go ahead and do that tomorrow night. And then, as announced here, put together literally as we're on the air, me, Astrid Pizarro, and our good friend Jose on the air, and probably Ella, now that she's found out about the show, are going to be fantasy booking Worlds Collide TNA versus WWE for next Monday night at 8 p.m. during Raw. So definitely go ahead and make sure you check us out on that. But until the next time, I have been Ed Fries. This has been Astrid Pizarro, and we will see you next time. Bye.